Erling Haaland. Expectation. 91 goals in 100 games. Say that again. That's not a typo. That's Erling Haaland's Manchester City record. For context, that's better than Messi's first 100 at Barcelona. Better than physics should theoretically allow. So why does it feel like a problem? Because when you score in your sleep, people expect you to score while solving differential equations. Haaland was manufactured for headlines. The son of a Premier League player raised on protein shakes and Norwegian pragmatism. Entering professional football like a prototype that escaped the lab. Height, speed, precision, composure. He's got the feature set of a created player in FIFA's career mode. Difficulty setting, legendary. His father once said Erling is addicted to progress. That addiction now meets its nemesis. How do you improve when you're already inevitable? When you don't score for 3 consecutive matches, analysts write think pieces titled, "Is Haaland broken?" His involvement in play is dissected like a war crime. He's called robotic, which is both accurate and deeply unfair. You build a machine for goals, then complain it doesn't write poetry. There are rumors, confirmed in interviews, that he fasts before games for mental clarity, sleeps with mouth tape for oxygen optimization, meditates to binaural frequencies. He's a man optimizing himself into isolation, turning football into an algorithm he's determined to solve. Guardiola's system weaponized him. It also caged him. He stands in space, waiting for physics to deliver the ball, looking sometimes not like a predator, but like someone who forgot why he started hunting in the first place. The paradox is vicious. The more superhuman he appears, the less human he's permitted to be. Every game must reaffirm the myth. There's no room for growth when you're already treated like the final evolution. Somewhere in Norway, a teenager is watching Haaland highlights. What he doesn't realize is that the level of perfection makes every average performance a disaster. Lamine Yamal. Pressure and social media. Prophecy is a gift that arrives wrapped in razor wire. Lamine Yamal was born into expectations that would crush established veterans. Barcelona's youngest debutant, left-footed prodigy. The comparison started before his voice dropped. The next Messi. That phrase, repeated like a prayer or a curse depending on your perspective, became his biography before he wrote a single chapter. At 18, he's caught between being a kid and playing like a god. Every goal trends worldwide. Every quiet match sparks think pieces titled, "Is Lamine Yamal overhyped?" He's growing up inside a myth that hasn't decided if it wants to protect or consume him. Then came the provocations. Days before El Clasico in October 2025, he appeared on a live stream and said it. Real Madrid, they steal, they complain. The comment went viral instantly. Real Madrid's dressing room seethed. When the match ended in a 2-1 Barcelona defeat, Dani Carvajal confronted him on the pitch. "If you talk too much, you'll have to swallow your words." Former Barcelona players called it immature. Spanish media questioned his judgment. This wasn't composure. This was a teenager playing with matches in a gasoline factory. Off the pitch, the drama multiplied. After the Alex Padilla breakup spectacle at Euro 2024, he moved on to Argentine rapper Nicki Nicole. 25 years old, famous, and just as headline-ready. They went public in late August. Helicopter rides over Croatia, romantic dedications at matches. Then, barely 2 months later, it ended. Breakup rumors, cheating allegations involving an Italian influencer. Yamal denied everything, but the damage was done. At 18, his personal life had become a tabloid franchise. Barcelona noticed. Reports surfaced. Controversial birthday parties. Provocative social media posts before El Clasico. Heated confrontations with Real Madrid players. The club intervened. His agent now monitors his social media. Public appearances reduced. The freedom he once had revoked. At 18, his life became corporate damage control. The paradox of modern football. Protect the child, promote the brand. Both can't win. Usually, neither does. His Instagram is a production studio. One cryptic emoji before a match becomes a trending topic. The world watches his every post, every relationship, every provocation, looking for signs he's the next Ronaldinho, distracted by fame before fulfilling potential. Yamal's real test isn't tactical ability. He's already got that. It's survival. Can he become himself before the world decides who he's supposed to be? Can he escape the pressure of prophecy, the scrutiny of social media, the consequences of his own mouth? Or will he spend his 20s chasing shadows of a man who played in a different century, a different body, a different universe of pressure? The prophecy has been written. The question is whether Lamine gets to edit the ending, or if social media writes it for him. Vinicius Jr. Temperament. The ball is at his feet. The defender lunges. Vinicius goes past him like gravity is optional. The crowd erupts. Not all of them are cheering. With Vinicius Jr., every touch is personal. Every dribble a declaration of war. From the moment he arrived at Real Madrid as a skinny teenager, you could see it. This kid didn't just want to win, he wanted to make you feel it. Spanish defenders learned quickly the best way to stop him wasn't tactical, it was psychological. A word in his ear, a shove after the whistle, watch his shoulders tense, watch the switch flip. Suddenly, it's not 11v11, it's Vinicius versus the universe, and the universe brought backup. Then came the part that changed everything. The racism. Not whispers, stadium-wide chants. Not once, repeatedly, systematically, until it became a story bigger than football. In 2023, Spain watched him cry after matches, then score in fury the next week. He became a symbol he never asked to be. Carlo Ancelotti calls him the fighter. The Spanish press calls him provocative. Both are right. Neither tells the full story. Here's the contradiction. Vinicius's problem isn't immaturity, it's intensity. He doesn't perform emotion, he lives it. Every celebration is catharsis. Every argument unfiltered. There's no PR filter. No media training strong enough to cage what he feels in real time. It makes him electric. It makes him vulnerable. Football rewards composure. Vinicius offers authenticity. The sport doesn't always know what to do with that. His greatest evolution won't be tactical. It'll be internal. Learning when to fight, when to forgive, when to let the football speak without the fists clenched. For now, he remains both hero and target. Proof that brilliance and volatility often share the same heartbeat. Cristiano Ronaldo. Ego. The mirror never lies, but Ronaldo stopped listening to it years ago. He just poses for it. From Madeira's cracked concrete to Old Trafford's cathedral lights, every step was an elevation of talent. Teachers told him he'd never make it. He responded by building a career that looks less like biography and more like revenge. At Manchester United, groundsmen would beg this teenager to leave training. He'd refuse. The lights went off, he kept running. Here's the thing about ego. It's not just confidence on steroids. It's a survival mechanism that forgot to turn off. Ronaldo's wasn't born from arrogance. It was forged from the terror of becoming forgettable. Every goal became evidence. Every trophy, a defense attorney. He kept a life-sized wax figure of himself in his Spanish villa. Not because he's vain, because he needed a monument that couldn't age, couldn't lose, couldn't leave. The exits told the story. United ended in a televised character assassination. Madrid felt peaceful only because Champions League anthems drowned out the screaming. Juventus? Frustration wrapped in Serie A politeness. Even at 39, at Al Nassr, he demands the reverence of his prime. Pre-match rituals performed like religious doctrine in a stadium half empty. His greatest rival was never Messi. It was the inevitability of time and the reflection that refuses to stay 28 forever. Kylian Mbappe. Power. Power doesn't announce itself. It rewrites the rules while you're still reading them. Mbappe represents football's quiet revolution. The player as CEO, the athlete as institution. By 19, he'd won the World Cup. By 23, he'd signed what French media called Le Contrat du Roi, the King's contract. Reports suggested clauses about transfers, coaching input, even strategic direction at PSG. Whether truth or mythology, the symbolism landed. Mbappe wasn't just on the team, he was the system. Born in Bondy, raised on Henry and Zidane DVDs, he absorbed ambition. But where Ronaldo's empire is ego-driven theatre, Mbappe's is political calculation. He doesn't crave chaos, he architects order. When he clashed with France's federation over image rights, it wasn't rebellion, it was sovereignty. When he stared down Neymar over penalty duty, it wasn't disrespect, it was a result of boardroom negotiation. The move to Real Madrid in 2024 was coronation and exams simultaneously. At PSG, he ruled alone, a sun with orbiting planets. In Madrid, he joined a solar system already crowded with stars. The psychological test isn't defenders, it's coexistence. Can he share oxygen in a galaxy that worships legacy? Power in football is a drug. First taste is transcendence. By the 10th hit, you're not chasing the high, you're running from withdrawal. Mbappe got hooked at 19. He's been chasing that World Cup feeling ever since, not realizing the drug changed. Now it's not about winning, it's about controlling who wins beside him. When you become the franchise instead of just the forward, who do you still play for? The crest or yourself? Alejandro Garnacho. Attitude. Alejandro Garnacho needs a reality check. He's 21 years old, obscenely talented, and somehow convinced that being Cristiano Ronaldo's spiritual successor means copying the haircut but skipping the part where Ronaldo trained until security physically removed him from Carrington. Garnacho idolizes the myth. He's ignoring the manual. Let's review. He's got the ability. That overhead kick against Everton was stupid good. The swagger. He celebrates like he's just won the World Cup final after scoring in regular matches. The social media presence. His Instagram has more plot twists than a telenovela. What he's missing, the discipline that turns potential into legacy. Instead of compilation videos titled, "What Happened to Garnacho?" Reports, though never officially confirmed, never officially denied, suggest disciplinary warnings at United. Later rivals, social media antics, he played against Arsenal or Liverpool like the world owed him the ball. Sometimes that arrogance produced magic. Other times, it produced headaches for everyone earning less money than him. Here's the thing about teenage confidence. It's rocket fuel. It can launch a player into orbit or explode on the launch pad. Coaches walk tightropes, encourage the self-belief, curb the entitlement. Try not to break the prodigy while explaining that no, skipping team meetings because of bad vibes isn't acceptable. He could have been United's next cult icon. Instead, a £40 million exit to Chelsea. Because icons aren't born from talent alone, they're forged from the boring stuff. The tactical meetings, the gym sessions nobody films, the maturity that looks like compromise but is actually evolution. So here's the question. Will he channel the rebellion into purpose at Chelsea or become another Instagram cautionary tale where potential burned faster than discipline could catch up? David Beckham. Image. Before influencer was a job title, before Instagram existed, before personal branding was taught in business schools, there was David Beckham, inventing the blueprint. He was the first player to merge sport and celebrity so seamlessly that people forgot where one ended and the other began. His free kicks were Renaissance paintings. His life was a campaign. Every haircut made front pages. Every endorsement defined a generation. He wasn't just famous, he was a system, a template for how to monetize existence itself. Then came June 30th, 1998. Argentina, World Cup. A petulant kick, a red card. Overnight, he transformed from England's golden boy to national villain. Tabloids printed dartboards with his face. Fans burned effigies. The death threats weren't metaphorical. For a 23-year-old who'd built his identity on adoration, the hatred was annihilation. Most would have broken. Beckham didn't. He turned infamy into fuel. Real Madrid, LA Galaxy, brand Beckham, worth more than the GDP of small nations. He rebuilt his image with the precision of someone who understood that fame is architecture, not accident. Every move calculated, every appearance designed. But friends, the few real ones, describe something jarring. He's quiet, almost shy, a man haunted by his own perfection, forever performing a version of himself that stopped feeling real somewhere around 2003. The image became so polished, so omnipresent that the person underneath became a rumor. His documentary revealed cracks, the obsessive need for control, the lingering trauma from '98, the way he still replays that red card in private moments. Fame gave him everything and took the one thing he couldn't buy back. Anonymity. Beckham's journey mirrors fame itself. Intoxicating, isolating, irreversible. He invented the template, then spent decades trapped inside it, and fans underappreciating his footballing ability. Bruno Fernandes. Control. Manchester United probably didn't need another player. It needed an exorcist. They bought Bruno Fernandes instead. He arrived like a messiah. Goals, leadership, rage, responsibility, all wrapped in Portuguese intensity. Every defeat became personal. Every misplaced pass, an existential crisis broadcast in 4K. He argues with referees like they owe him money. He gestures at teammates like a conductor whose orchestra forgot the sheet music. Fans split down the middle. Passion or petulance? Inspiration or exhaustion? The truth is messier. Bruno doesn't suffer from arrogance. He suffers from caring in a place that's institutionally designed to break your heart. United has been chaos dressed in red since Ferguson left. Bruno keeps trying to impose order on entropy. It's like screaming at a hurricane and wondering why the wind won't listen. Former coaches describe him as obsessive. He remembers every mistake. His and yours. When cameras caught him berating teammates mid-match, people called it toxic. What it actually was, desperation. The drowning man yelling at people who won't grab the life raft. Here's the trap. Leadership rooted in control eventually cracks. Football resists perfection. United is imperfection. Bruno's emotional volatility isn't separate from the club's instability. It's a mirror of it. He's brilliant, burdened, and exhaustingly human. Every gesture broadcasts the same message. Why won't you care as much as I do? Until he accepts that chaos can't be conquered, only navigated, survived, occasionally even embraced, he'll remain the embodiment of United's eternal condition. Talented enough to dream, cursed enough to never wake up satisfied. The savior complex is a beautiful prison. Bruno built his own. Neymar Jr. Escapism. Neymar was supposed to be the carnival. He was never meant to be Messi's heir or Ronaldo's rival. That's revisionist history from people who missed the point. He was samba given human form. Joy, hand in hand with football. At Santos, he danced. At Barcelona, he dazzled while standing in Messi's shadow, which most mortals would consider an honor. Neymar considered it a curse. The $222 million move to PSG was just as much a jailbreak as it was ambition. He wanted to be the man, not a man in someone else's cathedral. Paris gave him the throne, the spotlight, the keys to the kingdom. He responded by throwing the most expensive midlife crisis in sports history, and he was only 25. Off the pitch, he embraced chaos like a lifestyle coach. Parties in Rio that made tabloids blush, gaming marathons during seasons, full 8-hour Twitch streams while his teammates did recovery, poker tournaments mid-campaign, and the internet's favorite conspiracy, suspiciously timed injuries that coincided with his sister's birthday. But here's what people miss beneath the memes. Escapism isn't laziness. It's exhaustion disguised as apathy. Neymar was tired of the expectation, tired of being Brazilian Jesus, tired of every ankle injury becoming a national tragedy. When Messi and Mbappe arrived in Paris, the spotlight split 3 ways. For the first time in years, Neymar could breathe in semi-darkness. The $200 million move to Al Hilal in 2023 was retreat dressed as conquest. Not retirement, just refuge. He wasn't avoiding football, he was avoiding the burden of being Neymar. The tragedy? The boy who made football look like dancing spent a decade trying to find rhythm outside the stadium. His greatest dribble was the one away from his own legacy. Jude Bellingham, Spotlight. 30-year-old man in a 20-year-old body. That's how coaches describe him. It's supposed to be a compliment. Jude Bellingham entered football's fast-forward mode and forgot where the pause button was. At 16, he was captaining Birmingham like it was a summer internship before the real job started. By 17, Dortmund. By 20, Real Madrid's midfield, England's future, Adidas campaigns, and approximately 47 million think pieces dissecting his body language. He doesn't just play football, he performs maturity. Barking orders at Dortmund veterans twice his age, scoring clutch goals at the Bernabeu like he'd rehearsed them in a previous life. Every gesture calculated, every interview perfect. He's the golden boy, and golden boys don't crack. Except here's the secret whispered in Spain and around England camps. There's a quiet fatigue behind that camera-ready smile. Not burnout, not yet, but the exhaustion that comes from never being allowed to be 20. One below-par game becomes a trending topic. One frustrated gesture becomes a character study study. Even his post-match hugs get analyzed like diplomatic cables. This is the algorithm era's curse. Past prodigies had bad games that disappeared into newspaper archives. Bellingham's low moments are monetized, memed, and dissected in 4K slow motion with synthwave backing tracks. Every performance feeds a content machine that never sleeps, never blinks, never forgets. The spotlight found him at 16. It didn't ask permission. By 18, it was a stalker. By 20, it became his shadow. Can't be outrun, can't be reasoned with, can't be killed. And the worst part, he's starting to forget what he looked like before it arrived.
Andre Onana. Overconfidence. Goalkeepers aren't supposed to play like midfielders having an identity crisis. Onana didn't get the memo. He redefined the position, fearless with the ball, orchestrating from the back like Guardiola's fever dream given gloves. At Ajax and Inter, it was poetry. At Manchester United, it was performance art that occasionally ended in tragedy. His confidence, once his superpower, became the flaw that made highlight reels and compilations equally viral. Short passes under pressure, he thrives on it. The problem, when the inevitable mistake arrives, the spectacle overshadows the intent. The Champions League final with Inter showcased genius, reflexes that bent physics. The early errors at United exposed fragility, misjudgments that bent reputations. Rumours suggest Ten Hag defended him privately despite dressing room doubts. Onana's style demands trust. Trust demands consistency. The math wasn't adding up. Here's the psychology. Modern goalkeepers are expected to be both wall and playmaker, acrobat and architect. Onana embraced that evolution so completely, he sometimes forgets which role matters in which second. His arrogance isn't ego, it's performance armor, a mask against the fear that one mistake will define him more than 100 saves. But misjudgment erodes authority fast in football's unforgiving theatre. Defenders need certainty. Onana offers adventure. It's the right idea executed at the wrong velocity. For all his ability, his battle is trust, convincing teammates, fans, and perhaps himself that confidence isn't the same as composure. Sometimes the most revolutionary act a goalkeeper can perform is the simple one. Catch the ball, then do absolutely nothing interesting. Marcus Rashford, purpose. Marcus Rashford carries two worlds that were never supposed to fit in one body. One world plays football, the other feeds children. Both are exhausting. Only one gets you honoured by the Queen at 24. His campaign to end child food poverty in Britain made him a national hero beyond sport. Government ministers responded to his tweets. Schools were renamed after him. For a moment, he transcended football entirely. Then came the question nobody asked but everyone whispered. What happens when doing good becomes another performance to maintain? Every dip in form now invites narratives that feel personal, distracted, complacent, lost focus. In reality, Rashford faces something simpler and infinitely more complex: burnout. Physical, emotional, spiritual. Behind the PR polish and charitable foundations is a man balancing fame, philanthropy, and expectations from millions who see him as both footballer and moral compass. His 2022-23 revival reminded the world he's still elite when healthy and focused. 30 goals, best player awards, standing ovations. Then the following seasons slumped. Form dropped, scrutiny returned, whispers intensified. The modern Saints dilemma. When activism becomes brand expectation, where does the person go? Rashford can't just play football anymore. Every touch is measured against his virtue. He can't just be flawed, he's supposed to be an example. We crowned him for compassion, then expected perfection in perpetuity. When he stumbled, as humans do, we didn't see failure, we saw betrayal. Rashford's biggest problem isn't football, it's that we asked him to be superhuman, and he tried. Purpose is a beautiful burden. Rashford wore it like armor until it became a cage. Luka Modric. Time. Time doesn't negotiate. Modric learned to dance with it anyway. At 39, when most players are exploring coaching badges or punditry gigs, Luka Modric still commands the midfield with an elegance that makes aging seem optional. But this isn't a story about defying age. It's about accepting it without surrender. There's a background that explains everything. War, poverty, exile. A childhood where football wasn't a dream, but an escape route from a country tearing itself apart. That history instilled something rare rare in modern football. Perspective. When you've survived what he survived, a Champions League final is a high-stakes hobby, not an existential crisis. Watch him now in AC Milan's midfield. He's not faster than he was, he's smarter. Not stronger, even wiser. His game evolved from explosive to elegant, from conquering space to understanding it. He doesn't fight for position anymore. He simply arrives at the exact coordinates where the ball will be. It looks like magic, it's actually mathematics, performed by someone who accepted that time changes the equation. His minutes have declined, his influence hasn't. He mentors younger players, not with speeches, but with proximity, letting them watch how a master navigates endings. There's no resentment in his twilight, just recognition that the sun sets for everyone, and grace is how you meet the horizon. The standing ovations now sound like dress rehearsals for farewell. Every substitution might be his last. His legacy isn't just trophies in a cabinet. It's teaching football something it constantly forgets. That decline doesn't mean defeat. That ending something beautifully requires more courage than starting it did. Time remains undefeated. Let's all learn to appreciate greatness while we still can. Gareth Bale. Detachment. In 2023, Gareth Bale walked away from football. What he proved was the most dangerous thing a superstar can do: prioritize sanity over legacy. Gareth Bale might be football's most misunderstood genius, and his greatest achievement was not giving a damn about the misunderstanding. At Tottenham, he was thunder given human form, destroying defenses with a simplicity that felt illegal. Run fast, hit ball harder, repeat. Real Madrid paid a world record fee expecting that same fury. What they got was a man who slowly, deliberately, consciously decided that football wasn't worth the trauma. Wales, golf, Madrid. In that order. The banner he celebrated with wasn't disrespect. It was honesty dressed as humor. Spanish media erupted. Madridistas felt betrayed. Bale shrugged, probably while checking tea times. Here's what the criticism missed. Bale never chased celebrity. He craved simplicity. The constant scrutiny in Spain, the linguistic isolation, the media that treated every injury like a conspiracy. It wore him down. Not because he was weak, but because he refused to pretend it mattered more than it did. He delivered when called. Champions League finals, bicycle kicks that defied anatomy, goals that wrote history. Then he'd disappear into silence, not injured, unavailable, not resting, detached. The more Madrid demanded emotional investment, the more he withdrew. After retirement, his interviews were jarring. He looked relieved, not nostalgic, liberated. While other legends mourned their playing days, Bale treated it like surviving a cult. Got the trophies, escaped with sanity mostly intact, moved on. His story isn't rebellion. It's self-preservation in a sport that demands you love it more than you love yourself. Bale loved golf, loved Wales, tolerated Madrid, succeeded anyway. In a sport obsessed with noise, he chose peace. In a culture that worships sacrifice, he chose boundaries. Football called it disrespect. Bale called it Tuesday and went golfing. 14 players, 14 prisons built from their own excellence. The greatest irony in football: the things that make you a superstar are often the exact things that destroy you, or at least try to. Ego, expectation, attitude. Pick your poison. The ball doesn't care. If you enjoyed this video, make sure to subscribe as we continue to uncover the unforgiving environment of modern football.